My name is Morgan McNeil, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, in this video, I am going to be talking about the 4-H program, a program that I am very passionate about and have been involved with for 12 years. So, what is the 4-H program, you might ask? 4-H is a non-profit youth organization standing for Head, Heart, Health, and Hands, as indicated by a 4-leaf clover as the emblem. The 4-H motto is learn to do by doing, and it's really organized or structured to help young people to gain life skills by being involved in doing them, to have those experiences. The 4-H program is wonderful not only to build life skills, but also to make many friendships that can last a lifetime. And so just to begin, I will mention that the 4-H program I will be discussing today is very much focused on the rules and regulations within Atlantic Canada, because I was in the 4-H program in the province of Nova Scotia. There can be some variations in some other parts of Canada and potentially other parts of the world as well, so I'm going to be talking more from my perspective. So if it's done differently in other places, I understand there can be those differences. And so for this video today, I'm going to be talking about the 4 requirements that you must complete within a 4-H year to get your gold completion sticker at your achievement day. And just prior to that, I'm going to be talking about the different age categories to be a 4-H member. So first, we have a clover bud category, which is for any children between the ages of 7 to 9 years of age. We then have a junior category, which is the age category from years 9 to 12. We then have an intermediate category, anyone from the age of 13 to 15. And finally, we have a senior category, anyone in the age bracket 16 to 21 years of age. And so 4-H is not just designed for children that grew up on farms in rural areas. I also just want to make it very clear that it's also open to people from the cities, from urban settings as well. So this is really something that's open to people from all different places, which is wonderful. I did not grow up on a farm originally, and I got my exposure to livestock through 4-H program, but I also got exposure to many life skills outside of a direct farm connection. So 4-H really can be for anybody. And so the 4 main categories that a 4-H member must complete within the 4-H year, the first one is project work. And so within project work, 4-H members choose a minimum of 1 project, either something in a life skills category or something in a livestock category. Livestock category could be any animal-related projects such as swine, dairy, cattle, beef or dairy, light horse, draft horse, etc. There's many other options. It really just depends on the interest of the 4-H members and the willingness of volunteer leaders to run those projects. There's also a life skills category, which involves many skills related to home ec projects, cooking, crafts, photography, scrapbooking, junior ambassador, agricultural, junior leaders. There's woodworking, there's welding, small engines, many other examples. Those are just a few. And so these are some of the projects that I have heard about through the program in Nova Scotia. However, there could be other projects offered as long as there's a willingness for a leader to lead those projects and members that would like to take those projects. So there's always something new to learn. And I think the program can also be very beneficial for adults that want to be leaders to help them build a lot of skills related to public speaking, running a group, and many other aspects related to that and beyond. And so within the project work category, you can do 1 project, you can do as many as you think you can handle. But it's a wonderful opportunity to learn about many different skills that this world has to offer. And so within your project, you'll have a project newsletter that will outline the requirements before your achievement day. And so for instance, I did a photography project a number of times. And so in the photography project, we had at least 6 or 7 different items that we could choose from to produce to show at our final achievement day. Things such as doing a photo album, a collection of different photos that we took over the year in a series of different categories. It could be doing some type of print display, just for example. So the 4-H project work component is very good for that hands-on experience. Then another category within 4-H that you must complete is your communications. And so that is where you get some experience in public speaking. And that is one of the most important skills that I believe that I have gained from the 4-H program. So in the communications section, you must either write a speech or do a demonstration of how to do or to make something and present that to your local 4-H club. And so you're able to do either of the 2 options depending on what's of interest to you, as long as you are getting that experience speaking in front of an audience. And so you can compete first at your local club level, and then if you win at your club level, you move on to your county level to compete, and then you'll have a regional level with a neighboring county in competition with you. And finally, you can go on to the provincial level and compete at the annual provincial show level. And so there's many opportunities to build this experience in public speaking. And another component of the 4-H program is called judging. And that is where you can gain experience within your project in being able to evaluate a series of articles in your project to determine what would be the best and the worst. And then you have to provide reasons as to why you would place one above another. So for instance, if I had 4 photographs, we could either look at 4 pictures of the same subject, or we could be looking at 4 very different subjects. But you're going to want to be looking for the flaws or the strengths within each photo based on the content that you learn within the project. So for example, a few things you might look for: if the lighting and the color is good in the pictures, if they're centered, if they're off in thirds, is there good motion, blur, depth of field, is it clear and steady? So those are just a few examples of things you might want to look for. And so once you can place these articles from best to worst, you come up with reasons, and then once you practice them, you then recite it to a judge, and the judge will evaluate you in part on whether or not you place the articles in the right order, and the other half of your score is determined based on the level of convincing and the conviction of your reasoning for those placements. And finally, the 4th aspect to get your goal completion at your achievement day is your club contribution. And that is basically the time and the effort that you put into your 4-H club and your community to engage in volunteer, to be an active member of your club, to give back and help out with various events. You might have different club fundraisers, you might have some local games and activities, but it's really just trying to be involved in that 4-H organization. So it's all wonderful opportunities. And finally, I just want to mention there are lots of different opportunities in the 4-H program beyond just provincial and national opportunities. There's also opportunities to go abroad and travel to other countries or parts of the world. For instance, I was involved in a youth exchange program where I traveled to England for 2 weeks to learn about agricultural practices there. And so that was a really wonderful experience for me, not only in building my confidence to travel to another part of the world, but also to see how agriculture was being done and how that was different from Canada. So I strongly recommend that opportunity to anyone in the 4-H program that gets the opportunity to do it. And so without going too much further, I jumped the gun a little bit. I didn't mention how I myself got involved in the 4-H program. And so for me, I did not come from a farm. I did not grow up in an agricultural area, although I did grow up in a rural area. However, my father had been reading the newspaper and he had seen an advertisement for the 4-H program. And he was intrigued by this, and he wanted my sister and I to attend a meeting to learn more about the program. So we attended a meeting with our parents, and at first I was quite confused about a lot of things, but I continued to go to some other meetings, and within a short period of time, I was able to understand what I wasn't clear on, and I was hooked pretty quickly. And so my whole family actually was, and we got engaged, we registered as members and volunteer leaders, and we actively were involved in the program for a number of years. I was a member for 12 years. I believe my sister was a member for at least 15 years, and my parents were both volunteer leaders throughout that whole period that we were both involved in the program. And so it not only helped my sister and I build our confidence in public speaking, but it also helped my parents build their public speaking and confidence as well. And so all in all, it was a wonderful experience for our family, and I really can't say enough good about 4-H. I recommend it to anybody. I will include some show notes below in this video. If you'd like to click on the links to learn more, it'll take you to some of the 4-H content, the 4-H website. 4-H is offered in at least 50 different countries around the world, and if it's not offered where you're at, there is the opportunity to develop a 4-H framework with wherever you are. But please let me know if you have any questions or you have any comments in the comment section below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and you can also subscribe if you'd like to get more content from me. And if you have any video suggestions, things you'd like me to discuss in more detail about the 4-H program, or maybe anything that's not clear, I can go into more detail on any of these topics that I discussed today. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.